plane! No, it's Superman! Da-da-da-da-da! Oh, I was just pretending to be Superman. Never mind. The first superhero to warm American hearts was Superman, created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster in Cleveland, Ohio in 1933. According to psychologist Carl Jung, in his book, Man and His Symbols, society needs its superheroes because they provide men and women with hope. And every year on Halloween, many children across America try to dress up as Superman and to try to emulate that hope. Unfortunately, though, not all these costumes quite live up to your expectations. But one young boy discovers it isn't the costume that makes a hero, it's you that makes a hero. Halloween, by Jerry Seinfeld. You know, all I ate when I was a kid was candy. Just candy. And the only real clear thought that was going through my head was to get candy. Get candy, get candy, get candy, get candy. So when I first heard the concept of Halloween, I couldn't even process the information. I was like, what? What did you say? Someone's giving out candy? Who's giving out candy? Everyone we know. Everyone we know is just giving out candy. I gotta be a part of this. Take me with you. I'll do anything you want. Just give me the candy. The first couple of years, I made my own costumes. You know, the ghost, the hobo, the absolute worst. I knew that it was my destiny to get a real, official Superman Halloween costume. So the day finally came. I had finally convinced my mom and my dad to buy me a Superman costume. And you know, I believe that when I put this on, I would look just like Superman. Unfortunately though, not all these costumes are quite the super fit you're looking for. I mean, it looked like I was wearing Superman's pajamas. It was all loose and flowy, and the neckline came down to about here. But you know, I went out anyway. And about 30 minutes into trick-or-treating, the mask just kept getting tighter and tighter on my face, and I couldn't breathe, so I just ripped it off. Ah, the heck with it. Yeah, it's me, it's Superman. Look, just give me the candy. But by the end of the night, I was able to fill a punch bowl full of candy, so that the top was curved. I ate the entire thing in one night, woke up the next morning, and felt absolutely fantastic. And that's when I realized, when you're a kid, you don't need a costume. You are Superman. In my next selection, poet Jake Barton introduces us to a young man, whose younger brother serves as the ideal superhero, with the strength and spirit to battle the most difficult of adversaries. Avoiding Kryptonite, by Jake Barton. You know, my brother believes he's Superman. Well, my parents gave him the nickname as a toddler. But as soon as he was able to form words and sentences, it was clear. My brother believed in truth and justice in all things his way. For his 4th birthday, my mom made my brother a Superman costume. I mean, and he loved it, of course. He had a red cape to go with it and all. He wore it everywhere. I mean, he wore it grocery shopping. He wore it to Sunday school. He even wore it to his preschool. As you can imagine, in no time at all, he became our little town celebrity. You know, I was related to our little small town superhero. But then things started to change. You know, my brother is no longer more powerful than a locomotive or able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. He's weak and fatigued, and one day he just came home with a bunch of bruises. So one night, my dad calls a family meeting around the dinner table, and my brother just walks in and says, "What's the scoop, Dad?" But then my dad told us the results of my brother's blood work. The doctors had discovered that my little brother has leukemia. Of course, my brother mishears my dad. He thinks my dad has told him he has a disease called Lex Luthor. He then asks my dad how he got Lex Luthor. All he said was, "You probably got too close to some kryptonite." Kryptonite. You know, life is full of kryptonite. The trick is just learning how to avoid it. and my brother is an absolute inspiration. You know, when the nurses told him he was getting his first x-ray, he just told them, "Cool, this will help me get my x-ray vision." And after his first round of chemotherapy, my brother was finally released from the hospital. And as we were driving down the highway, he points to the sign. It said, "Welcome home, Superman." And that's when I developed a superpower of my own. I could see into the future. And I knew that everything was going to be all right. He's not quite as fast as a speeding bullet, or able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Jerry Chariot is just an ordinary kid, growing up in the 1950s, who likes to write letters to Superman, because he believes in the Man of Steel. He yearns to be saved from the real-life villains in the form of abusive parents. It's said, heroes are who they are because of what they endured. So even the lowest of lows can bring out the superhero inside of us. The Kryptonite Kid, by Joseph Torchia.
Dear Superman, the other day I took off my shirt and put it around my neck like a cape, and I jumped out of Old Lady Holbrook's apple tree, and I flew. You can even ask my friend Robert. It wasn't very far, but it was farther than when I was jumping. I just thought you should know, in case you're ever thinking about putting me on TV with you. Your friend, Jerry Chariot. Dear Superman, last night at supper, I was telling my mom that, "Hey Mom, guess who's writing me a letter from Metropolis soon? Superman!"
Honey, there is no Superman. He's fake, you know, like the Little Red Riding Hood.
Mom, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Superman isn't like the Little Red Riding Hood. He has a cape, not a hood. Right, Dad? Dad?
Look, it says so in the newspaper today. Read it! The actor that plays Superman shot himself in the head. There is no more Superman. Read it! He's dead.
You're a liar. Stop it. Stop it. That's not true. Stop it.
There is no Superman. There never was, and there never will be.
Dear Superman, today I stood on top of my apartment building, and everyone was looking up at me, and I felt so good. I was just about to jump when my mom points up and says, "Look, up in the sky!" And my friend Robert yells, "It's Superman!" And then I jumped. I was flying through the air when something grabbed me. I thought it was you, Superman, but it wasn't. It was my dad. Dear Superman, I'm in the hospital right now. Sister Madonna says that my dad won't be coming around anymore. I don't understand. My dad wouldn't leave me. I'm so confused. She waits until she thinks I'm asleep and walks away. The last word I hear is from my mom. Why?